Roll call, please.
Mr. Marisano,
Here.
Mrs. Egbert,
Here.
Mrs. Johnston,
Here.
Mr. Skiff,
Here.
Mr. Matisich,
Here.
Mr. McCabe,
Here.
Mrs. Stricchiola,
Here.
Mrs. Coffey,
Here.
Mrs. Bomango.
Here. Okay. We do not have a need for an executive session. Tonight, we have a special presentation on the agenda, the 2024-2025 audit report.
Good evening. Thank you for having us here today. I'm Brian Coe in N.J.S.A. I'm the principal on your account. I'm here with Ray Serenelli, the partner on your account. So today we have a PowerPoint, which I believe you all have, but the public has a version up there. I'm just going to go over a couple of items. We're going to start with the general fund. I also gave you the normal presentation that we do that's paper copy. That's the C1 budgetary comparison schedule. That's what we give you every year, but I have some excerpts from that within the PowerPoint. Okay, so we're going to start with the fund balance. As of 6/30/2023, you can see that it was $4.1 million. As of 6/30/2024, it was $3.7 million. So that's a almost $400,000 decrease. In the 23 year, we used $737,000 of that fund balance to balance the 23-24 budget. So we used $737,000 from the year before to balance the budget of the next year. In the 2024 year, we used $773,000 of that fund balance to balance the 2025 year, and this year we're going to be using $652,000 from the 2025 fund balance to balance the 2026. So there is a trend there. It's slightly decreasing down to $652,000, but this year, 2025, we ended with $3,585,000, which is a decrease of $117,000. So normally when we see a $117,000 decrease in fund balance, we're like, okay, that's not what we want to see, but it's all right. But we are seeing now a trend of a decreasing fund balance. So we wanted to bring that to your attention, that it seems like your fund balance is going down consistently, and that's not something we want to see. Okay. Next slide. All right, so what makes up this $118,000 decrease? So if you have the normal presentation, this is really, I'm going to go over really what makes that up there. The revenues of $326,000, we had unbudgeted revenues revenues that exceeded the budget amounts by $325,000. That's made up of $74,000 from unanticipated tuition, $43,000 from rents and royalties, $190,000 from other, and those are all local revenues which come from the top of your C1. These are amounts that are over what you budgeted. We also had $119,000 that was less than what we budgeted for extraordinary aid on the state side. And we got $137,000 from non-public transportation and homeless reimbursement from the state. So those numbers make up $326,000 of your total revenues unbudgeted, or excess of what was budgeted. Your appropriations, you had $401,000 that was unspent. So you're thinking we had more revenues than what we wanted to get or expected to get, and then we had less expenditures than what we were planning to spend. But we budgeted $844,000 of previous year's fund balance to balance the budget. So we had taken funds from the previous year to balance the budget of the next year in anticipation of not spending everything and also of having excess of revenues over the budget amounts, but it didn't quite meet the same amount. So we were $117,000 or $118,000 short and what we were really expecting to get back. And really, it's always nice to go up a little bit so you have a little bit more room in there too. So those numbers, all these numbers, especially the revenues, come from the top of that C1, which was that handout I just gave out to you, which is what our normal report is every year. And then the appropriations would be towards the second to last page, and then the last page gives that breakdown of fund balance, which is what the previous slide was. And all those are actually in your audit report in the Exhibit C1. All right, so then I'm going to go over about what makes up your budget. So at a really high level, your budget formula is your revenues equal your appropriations. You have to have a balanced budget. The revenues have to equal your appropriations. Your revenues are made up of your local levy, miscellaneous revenues, state aid, and prior year fund balances. And those numbers have to equal your appropriations. Your budget appropriations are usually, in a very broad sense, your statutory required expenditures, your required programs, and your necessary programs, what the district deems to be necessary, and then your discretionary programs. So the district's budgets have been significantly impacted by inflation the past couple of years. Prices of everything is going up. The health benefit increase has been hitting every single district as well, with, I think it's, what are they projecting now, 38% increase for next year? That in itself is your total amount of tax levy increase that you're permitted. It's actually more than what your tax levy increase that you're permitted. So if that's going up that much, which you're required to pay to your, on behalf of your employees, then something else has to be adjusted in order to make up for that. So the revenues are very hard to change, right? The state aid is out of your control. Miscellaneous revenues is not a significant portion of your budget. There's very little you can change in there. Prior year fund balances, we just went over that you've been using that the past couple of years and you're kind of running out of that option as well. So the only revenue that you would be able to change would be your local levy, but you'd have to go out for ballot questions in order to significantly change that, other than using your 2.5% max. On the other side, you could decrease appropriations, but you can't change your statutory expenditures because that's the law. You can't change your required programs because you have specific appropriations and programs that you have to do per the state. So then the only thing that you'd be able to change would be these necessary programs and discretionary programs. Now, these are not legal terms I'm using. I'm just being, in a broad sense, those discretionary and necessary programs are the only other portions of the budget that you'd be able to affect in order to make sure you maintain that balanced budget. So with the homeless, extra homeless costs and with your health benefit costs and with inflation, there's going to have to be some adjustments in order to not see that declining fund balance continue in the future, because you can only go so much further before you run out of that fund balance that you can use to anticipate in the future years.
I guess I want to just check in. Do you have any questions on the budgetary process and where that's going? Because while we're here to discuss the audit and we've summarized, I think everybody gets, we see the declining trend in the fund balance. The upcoming budget, I think we wouldn't be doing our job, which is something we really aren't charged with reporting on, but I don't think we would be doing our job if we didn't make you aware of this specific issue that's coming for the upcoming budget, in that budget is going to be next to impossible to balance without some type of cut on the appropriation side. So I guess Brian, I think, did a great job of giving you the detail of how that all functions and works. I'm saying it a little bit more bluntly and plainly. And I want to make sure that if you have any questions on that, we answer them tonight.
Yeah, when I was down in Atlantic City for the conference, I went to a training class on how to do referendums. And the instructor was saying that it's normal procedure to just do referendums back to back for school districts to function. Our district hasn't done one in what? Do you guys know when the last one was closed?
Closed, I don't know, but I know it's good 20 years ago from when they did the work.
So the school expansions was the last time we did a referendum, and it wasn't for normal operation. It was to expand, which is abnormal. It seemed that, I went and I asked the instructor after the class. I said, are you saying that schools do referendums, meaning ask the public for extra money on a regular basis to run? And he said, yes. And I said, well, that's weird because our district hasn't done that in a while. So when you guys say that you're seeing a negative fund balance year after year, are other districts in New Jersey not having a declining fund balance because they have a referendum adding to their money? I'm trying to phrase it in a way where how can our fund balance not go down if our expenses are going up faster than the 2%? You guys are saying you don't want to see that, but the whole state is seeing that. So are we abnormal, or is this par for the course now?
So,
Okay,
so that was a great question. He has a lot of points to that question. So the referendums, depending on what kind of referendums he was talking about, your instructor, we want to see the debt for those referendums not drop off, so to speak. So we want to keep the tax levy relatively, not flat, but consistent. We don't want to have the debt from a referendum drop off and then 2 years later do another one and it come back up. You usually try to plan your referendums, particularly your capital project referendums, to start up while the other one is done being paid off. All right, now we're going to do another one, and it's going to keep that levy pretty consistent so we don't have the drops and ebbs and flows. We don't see a lot of districts. How about this? Before 3 years ago, we didn't see many districts do questions at all. The past couple of years, it's been coming up. I think maybe 2 out of my 13 districts have done referendum questions in the past 3 years. How many for you?
I haven't had any, but to answer your question, I think Brian made a good point there. It has become more prevalent as inflationary prices have gone above 2%. So your 2% levy isn't able to keep up with the expanding prices. And a lot of districts are experiencing declines in their fund balance because of that, but not all. And I don't know of places where they're continually doing referendums to increase their tax levy beyond the regular 2%. So I don't know if that, between Brian's answer and hopefully my answer, does that answer your
Yeah, it's just
question a little bit?
It's good to compare ourselves to other districts that way, but my follow-up question then is, the health insurance increase, last we heard was supposed to be like 30%, so hearing that it's now looking more like 38 is painful, and considering that the health insurance itself is 6% of the budget, if you take 6% and increase it by a third, that's now 8%. That's your 2% tax levy increase consumed in one budget line item. So what are other districts doing to keep their fund balance neutral if all of their tax levy increase is being used up just for health insurance? Because I know they're not like doing their own health insurance. They're part of the same basket that we're in. So are they cutting services in order to not decline the fund balance?
So yeah, some districts are cutting services, some are going out to ballot questions, and some are doing both. Also, you're in a unique position because your district is a smaller district where the health benefits are a significant portion or percentage of your budget. A bigger district, it's still a big portion, but it gets incrementally smaller, the size of the district, as the district size increases. So those are your two options, really, is go out to ballot questions or decrease appropriations.
Marcy?
Yeah, I'm going to answer that also. A couple of things that we do, I can tell you from my perspective, in addition to the auditors, we may bring more out-of-district placements in to help with that fund balance. We may look at transportation. We may, not us, when I say this, anybody, we may redistrict a district and change. They have people closing buildings. They have people changing class sizes. So there's many ways that different BAs look at the solutions for cost cutting. In terms of when you asked about a bond referendum, in my experience, everybody has done that from facilities, at least a facilities perspective, going out for another question. Like Brian said, not so many that I know have done that. Everybody has tried additional measures to cut costs internally. And the biggest one is bringing students in, creating programs internally, looking at transportation and classroom sizes. Those are the three ways where BAs with the orders and everybody try and not spend all their money and not really mess with the fund balance so we can try to take costs down.
Okay.
If that makes sense. These are just ways that we do. And then when that runs out, in theory, unfortunately, then it goes to looking at staffing and things like that in those areas.
Okay, just to qualify, you had mentioned closing buildings, but we're not discussing closing buildings. That's just people in your position in other districts.
100%.
Just to
Yes.
clarify for the record.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Everything I gave is just examples of other districts. In no way, shape, or form is it this district. I was just giving you examples so you can understand what other people in larger districts have had to do.
If you look at the overall trend of classroom size across the state of New Jersey, particularly in Morris, Sussex, Warren, further west, the classroom size over the last 10 years has, depending on grade level, probably gone from around 20 to 30 students per classroom. So that is definitely a trend we're seeing, how districts are getting there, bringing more students in district, lowering staffing levels, whether that be by riffing people or through attrition, trying to reduce costs in any way, shape, or form possible. So just some examples.
Okay. Any other questions while we're here?
No, thank you.
Okay, so I do have a couple more slides to go over briefly. The next one is about the milk service fund and the school age care. So this is the last year of the milk service fund because food service started this year. So we can see that in 2025, we did transfer $89,000 from the general fund, and that's to cover the lunches where students didn't have the funds or bring their lunches for that. So you did have a significant contribution from general fund, and that's part of the equation that's going to factor into how profitable the food service fund is this active year. Sure, it might not be profitable, but you already weren't profitable. You're already contributing almost 89,000 consistently over the past couple of years. Of course, that number's been going up, but you have been contributing that. If you don't have to contribute as much, not startup year, but the year after, then you're making out with the food service fund. School age childcare, your program's doing great. You had a 10% increase in your net position there, and net position is the same thing as fund balance, except it's a slightly different type of accounting that we have to use for the enterprise fund, but net position and fund balance for your consideration can be used interchangeably. So that increased to $680,000 during the year.
So just a reminder, those funds are generated by that fund and should stay in that fund. All funds at the within the district are under your purview, but it's not like you can take this money and use it to start to fund your general operation, the money that's generated out of this fund. So that fund balance of $680,000 can be used for projects, but those projects need to be related to the after-school program.
Your formula doesn't say that, though. Your balance formula, a couple slides back, it just
So that
says-
was just for general fund.
Oh, that's just general fund.
That's your general fund budget.
Okay.
Your other funds don't have a state-required budget.
The state of New Jersey likes to make the audit as complicated as possible, and there are financial schedules on three or four different bases of accounting. So what we described on that previous slide is the budgetary basis of accounting, and that pertains only to your general operating fund.
All right, and what you're saying, where they have to stay within certain funds, that's state law?
Yes. I believe it's state law, but it's also the accounting principle.
Government accounting standards, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we did have a couple of recommendations this year on the next slide. So we, in payroll, we noted that the compensatory timesheets did not have supervisory signatures documented. So now that's being documented, but we noted it in our audit. Transfers for appropriations were not approved by the business administrator during the past fiscal year. They will now be going forward. No formal board-approved standard operating procedures document existed, resulting in no formal duty requirements by position in the business office. I know that Marcy's doing a great job putting that document together. There were several instances where purchase orders were created after receiving the invoice and/or goods or services were rendered. And then our fifth finding was an analysis of balances not maintained for each student activities account, meaning that like the balance for the Wilderness Club or the Robotics Club is not specifically differentiated in the accounting records. So any questions on the recommendations? So we want to thank Marcy for all her hard work during the audit, and Kathy too, and your whole finance department for putting up with the auditors. We know that the auditors are not everybody's favorite person, and we appreciate you taking the time and getting the documents that we need and helping us get all the requirements put into the audit. And we thank you for all your hard work and your patience in dealing with us too.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you, Greg.
Thank you. And we're here all year long, not just during audit season. You have questions during the year, please feel free to reach out to us directly, or Marcy can get in contact with us for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right. I would like a motion to table the approval of the October 28th, 2025 regular Hanover Township regular public board meeting minutes. Can I get a motion? Thank you, Mr. Morsano.
Second.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Chris. All right, is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Mrs. Krasny, will you please present the Board Secretary Business Administrator's report? And thank you for all of your help with the audit.
Thank you. No. I wanted to start, I just wanted to congratulate everybody first. Our results came in, although we know you were uncontested. Christine, Gina, and Greg, thank you so much. You're official. I mean, you were official, but you're really official with our gold seal today. So congratulations on running. Thank you so much for contributing your lovely free time.
By the way, I heard my vote is what put me over the edge.
So it's so funny you say that. I was looking for those numbers in that, but somehow they left that off this little sheet for you. I am sorry, I am looking for it. It's normally in one place, and it was here. I can tell you that our cash is all in balance. As soon as I find the paper where we put it. My apologies.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, can you? I'm sorry, it's not here. You can go, sorry.
Good evening. I would like to echo Mrs. Krasny and begin by congratulating our 3 board members who were re-elected earlier this month, Mrs. Egbert, Mrs. Johnston, and Mr. Skiff. I extend my sincere well wishes and look forward to our continued partnership and collaboration as we work together to do what is best for the students of Hanover Township. Earlier this month, Mr. Anderson and I attended the N.J.S.A. President's Reception, where Ms. Marissa Dolch, technology teacher at Memorial Junior School, accepted the prestigious Program Excellence Award from Memorial Junior School. This recognition reflects the innovation, dedication, and high-quality learning experiences taking place in our technology education program under Ms. Dolch's leadership, and we look forward to honoring her at a future board meeting. With Thanksgiving just days away, it's a meaningful time to reflect on the many reasons we have to be grateful. Our students continue to inspire us daily. Our teachers and staff bring exceptional dedication to their work. Our families and PTAs remain valued partners, and our administrators and Board of Education provide essential support and guidance. Together, we are truly a community that inspires excellence, and this season reminds us how fortunate we are to be part of such a strong and caring school community. I would also like to highlight agenda item 11/25/25-39 under Public Relations, which is the approval of the 26-27 district calendar. This calendar was prepared in accordance with Board Policy 8210, school year, which is the name of the policy, and it states that the superintendent, in consultation with Hanover Park Regional High School District, annually prepare and submit to the board a school calendar for the next school year, no later than May 1st. As part of this process, I worked in consultation with Mrs. Carroll, Superintendent of Hanover Park Regional, to ensure as much alignment as possible across districts, since we share many families. It is important that all Hanover Township students across both districts begin the school year on the same day, and this calendar reflects that alignment. I also reviewed the calendar with district and school administrators, as well as the HTEA president. So the 26-27 school year will begin with 2 days of professional development for staff, beginning on August 31st, with students returning on Wednesday, September 2nd for the first day of school. Once approved, the calendar will be shared with all families and uploaded on the district website, so those who like to plan ahead may do so. And in closing, I wish everyone a happy, healthy, and peaceful Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ms. Crossan.
Once again, my apologies, it was the first one in my book. So your cash balance for the district is $5,446,332. Our general fund 10 interest earned to date is $52,670.13. Our HT-SAC Fund 60 interest earned to date is $3,357.60. And lastly, our food service interest to date, Fund 70, is $770.27. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Mr. Wasserman?
Thank you, Mr. Toomey and members of the Board of Education for the opportunity to present this evening. Just to echo Mr. Toomey, I just want to congratulate Mrs. Egbert, Mrs. Johnston, Mr. Skiff on their reelection to the board. We're very excited to continue our partnership and do great things on behalf of the students of Hanover Township. I would also like to begin by congratulating Mr. Anderson and Memorial Junior School for receiving the 2024-2025 New Jersey Technology and Engineering Educators Association Middle School Program Excellence Award. This honor recognizes schools with exemplary technology education programs that serve as models across the state. Our technology educator, Miss Marissa Dolch, has been instrumental in building this outstanding program. She, along with Mr. Anderson and Mr. Toomey, was recognized at the N.J.S.A Fall Conference on November 14th at Bell Works. This accomplishment highlights how our programs and students continue to shine well beyond the core academic areas. Congratulations to all involved. As previously shared, New Jersey is transitioning the N.J.S.A to a new publisher known as the N.J.S.A Adaptive Assessment. Recently, our district participated in the adaptive field test for mathematics and English language arts. Our students and staff performed exceptionally well, the technology ran smoothly, and teacher feedback was positive. I want to extend my appreciation to Mr. Stark, our district testing coordinator, and Mr. Falgares, our director of technology, for organizing and executing this multi-day field assessment across all 4 schools. Their leadership ensured a smooth and successful administration. And lastly, I would like to update the community on our strategic planning process. Over the past several weeks, we have gathered input from staff, students, families, and community members to help shape a shared vision for the future of our schools. This work has included data analysis, stakeholder discussions, and identifying emerging themes that reflect both our strengths and our areas for growth. We are now moving into the next phase where we will refine these themes into clear priorities. Our next steps include confirming our mission to ensure it reflects our core purpose and values, creating a new vision statement that articulates what we aspire to achieve as a district, and analyzing key data on student learning, stakeholder perspectives, and school processes to identify strengths, gaps, and opportunities. These steps will form the foundation of our strategic priorities and the action plan that will guide our work in the coming years, and we look forward to continued engagement with the community as this process advances. And that concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Mr. Wasserman. Ms. Copen?
Good evening, Board of Education members, returning members, administrators, and community members. Thank you for the opportunity to also speak this evening. As we continue to prioritize the well-being of our students, families, and staff, I'm pleased to share with you information about an upcoming initiative to support our district's mental health. It is entitled the Mental Health Association of New Jersey's N.J.S.A program. The 4 S's stand for Statewide Student Support Services. NJS was created by the Mental Health Association of New Jersey to establish coordinated statewide framework for delivering mental health, wellness, and preventative services directly to schools. This initiative is in response to the needs that we see every day. Students and families faced with increasing social, emotional, and mental health challenges, as well as schools working hard to provide with limited resources. What makes NJ4S especially valuable is its comprehensive and collaborative approach. There are multiple tiers to this that provide parents, caregivers, and school staff support. The first is student support services, including skill building, mental health education, early intervention program, and designing resilience as well as emotional regulation and coping strategies. What that looks like is assemblies as well as small group targeted instruction. Additionally, there is family-focused support, such as workshops, consultations, all aimed to helping parents navigate the tricky developmental challenges, supported with mental wellness at home and accessing community resources. Finally, there's a threshold of staff development, which is also offered through this opportunity. It will build a capacity of areas such as trauma-informed practices, crisis prevention, and student mental health awareness across the board. What is especially important is that these services are accessible and coordinated to align with our statewide best practices and standards. It's operated regionally, giving districts access to specialized experts without adding a burden to our budgets. The initiative reflects statewide recognition that academic success and emotional well-being are deeply connected, therefore supporting the whole child. We're grateful for the opportunity to engage in this project, and we look forward to the positive impact that the services will bring our school community. Thank you for your continued support in making sure we ensure that success. On a private note, I would like to just extend a spirit of gratitude, my sincere thanks to all of our child study team members, our special education members, administration, and the students that I have the privilege to work with on a daily basis. Across the board, this community does go above and beyond at the school level. This past spring, I challenged our self-contained teachers to expand inclusion opportunities for our children with the most severe of disabilities. What I did not expect was how contagious that spirit would be. Recently, the 5th grade teachers at B Meadow School created a truly innovative and untraditional model of inclusion. Rather than having special needs students push out of their self-contained classes into Gen Ed, they are pushing in students from their 5th grade classrooms into our self-contained classes. Beginning this year, 5th graders are going to join the MD classes as guest readers. This allows for the Gen Ed students to shine off and share some of their talents at their individual reading levels, I will add, targeted instruction, which also builds meaningful connections with their peers. The new initiative is called the BMS Literacy Loop, and I am super excited to see how we're blending our character education goals with our reading and literacy skills. It's really a broader scope of inclusion, if you will, and the vision we look to foster. I anticipate this initiative will spark many, many more projects and celebrations in the up and coming time, and I welcome those opportunities across the district. I'm deeply grateful for the staff who have made the initiative possible, their dedication, compassion, and willingness to think differently to benefit all of our students. So with humble closing, it's a privilege to wish you and your families a wonderful holiday. I hope that your turkey dinners uphold to our school district motto of excelling in inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing, that program. That was a really great idea. Thank you. We are going to move on to committee reports. We'll start with Ms. Egbert. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Personnel, the Personnel Committee met on Tuesday, November 18th at 7 p.m. Board members present, Justin Toomey, Lisa Domingo, Gina Johnson, Karen Coffey, and myself, Christine Egbert. The first item we discussed was contract amendment. The committee approved a temporary, or we're going to approve a temporary amendment to the contract of a special education aide at B Meadow School. The position will increase from 0.69 FTE to 0.96 FTE effective November 26, 25 through June 30, 26. This change is necessary to meet the program requirements of the preschool disability program. The next item we discussed were general approvals. We discussed the appointment of an N.J.S.A substitute aide effective January 2nd, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. We discussed 6 retroactive approvals. The committee reviewed several retroactive assignments. So the first one, additional office hour coverage for 4 staff members, 3 at Salem Drive School and 1 at Mount View School, for work completed in October ranging from anywhere from 2 to 7 hours. We discussed substitute coverage assignments for 3 staff members at BMS for October dates totaling 3 or fewer hours each. Additional aid coverage assignments for 6 staff members, 2 at BMS and 4 at Salem Drive School. These hours occurred throughout October as well and range from 0.5 to 10.5 hours. We discussed miscellaneous additional aid assignments during kindergarten orientation for 3 staff members at BMS on August 26, 25 at 1 hour each. Another miscellaneous additional copy duty assignments for 1 staff member at Memorial Junior School in October, totaling 21 hours. And the last miscellaneous additional IEP meeting assignments for 5 staff members at BMS on November 11th, 2025 for 1 hour and 15 minutes each. We had 6 non-retroactive, so 6 new approvals that we discussed. Approval of 2 individuals to serve as scoreboard operators for winter sports at the Memorial Junior School, 1 for up to 25 events and another for up to 5 events. Discuss the approval of 3 individuals for crowd control for winter sports at Memorial Junior School for up to 10 hours each. And then we discussed approval of 2 individuals to be added to the substitute list for the 25-26 school year pending completion of paperwork. We discussed approval of 8 staff members for substitute bus aid coverage as an as-need basis for the respective hourly rates. We discussed approval of student teaching placements for a County College of Mars student who will complete 25 hours of observation at BMS school during the fall 25 semester. The last one we discussed was 2 after-school club volunteers at Memorial Junior School, specifically for the craft club and the girls basketball programs. And lastly, we did the acknowledgments. The committee reviewed and acknowledged student suspensions for October 25. And this concludes my Personnel Committee report.
Thank you, Ms. Egbert.
Thank you.
Mrs. Johnston for Curriculum, Technology, and Student Achievement.
The Curriculum, Technology, and Student Achievement Committee met on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Those in attendance were me, Michelle Stricchiola, Karen Coffey, Lisa Bamango, Aaron Mosserman, Sherry Copen, and Justin Toomey. We discussed the following curriculum approvals for the completion of all the required fire and crisis drills. And then we discussed the special education approvals for child study team training provided by the district's legal counsel. This was held on November 3rd, 2025 from 1:30 to 3 p.m. an hourly rate established by the contract, not to exceed 3 hours. 2 representatives came in to talk with the team where questions and topics were submitted prior to have a more tailored meeting. Next was the approval for the aid training sessions, which are scheduled for January 6, 2026 and February 10th, 2026, presented by Dr. Blair Rosenthal at a rate of $125 per hour, not to exceed $750. And prior to the training, surveys will be sent out to aides for specific topics and questions they'd like to discuss. The next was for Handle with Care training provided by Mr. Ed Skeffington on January 16th, 2026 and March 13th, 2026 at no additional cost to the district. Next, we discussed the approval for Dr. Rosario Trifoletti to provide staff training as per IEP recommendations in the area of neuropsychological functioning with a concentration in PANDAS on an as-needed basis at no cost to the district, and to also have Dr. Rosario Trifoletti to provide private neuropsychological and thorough medical evaluations at a rate of $1,000 per evaluation and $700 per follow-up appointment, not to exceed a total of $5,000 for the 2025-2026 school year. Next, we had a special education update from Mrs. Copen. She discussed tentative dates for extended school year, or ESY, and right now the dates are June 26th through July 24th, 2026, with a closed June 3rd day for the holiday. And next, we discussed extending hours for an aide in the preschool class, which was also noted on the personnel agenda. Next, we had the curriculum updates from Mr. Wasserman. He updated us on the N.J.S.A adaptive field testing, and for the most part, it went well, he reported. And we will not be getting an actual report on the scores since this was just a field test. Next, he updated the committee regarding school analysis of the 2025 N.J.S.A, and he presented the data and discussed the analysis with the committee. Next, he presented the major budgeting areas for the 2026-2027 school year. And he's looking into the Envision mathematics because our license for the digital product will be up. And he is going to look into getting prices for renewing the current program, as well as looking at samples of the newest version and comparing the two and considering the cost of those. Next, he discussed with us the N.J.S. schedule change and subject area updates for ELA. And he noted that Mr. Anderson is looking at how other districts are scheduling and will be presenting options for these new schedules first to the admin team and then presenting it to the board before January. And next, we discussed the strategic planning process. And then we discussed the professional development, and upcoming dates will be in December, January, and February. And that is the end of my report.
Mr. Marsano?
Thank you. Finance, Transportation, Fiscal Plant met on 11/17/25. Attending were Lisa Omego, myself, Chris Matisich, Justin Toomey, Marcy Krasny, Billy Padovano, and Ricardo Santiago. Transportation, we discussed the bus evacuation drills were completed. The DRTPS, I believe that's correct, report was completed on 11/14/2025 and sent to the state. The two new buses have been inspected and are expected to be delivered early in December. There will be a safety meeting this week regarding responding to injuries on bus, exiting and entering the students onto the bus, how to address and reinforce the do not stand while bus is in motion rule, and communication skills with the students. For Fiscal Plant, the motherboards for door access controls are all end of life and will not be serviced after 12/31/25. This will affect adding and removing users. Replacement will cost up to $11,000, and we are exploring all options for best value. More than 30 roof leaks have been identified. Cost for temporary repairs on these leaks is approximately $40,000, and quotes from contractors are being gathered. Mr. Matisich presented a life-extending solution that he had found, and Ms. Krasny was aware of this and used it previously, but unfortunately our roofs are too compromised at this time for that product. We're working on a dumpster area and dumpster enclosure area and the dumpsters for purchase for Salem Drive School. The fence only will cost approximately $6,000. We also discussed needing bollards to protect the fence corners since it is in a parking lot. One injury of a custodian was unfortunately reported. The custodian fell from a ladder and sustained an injury. The ladder in question was taken out of service, and a ladder training session has been scheduled. For finance, Hanover had applied for a state security grant, but we were denied. This would have covered upgrades such as repair and replacement of broken cameras and adding cameras and other security devices throughout the district. Master clocks, which need to be replaced in all the elementary schools, each cost of approximately $6,000. Fire panels in each school are reaching end of life and must be replaced at a cost of approximately $75,000 apiece. Telephone and intercom systems must be replaced ASAP in Salem Drive schools and then to follow very soon in the other schools. And then we discussed the regular agenda items for approval, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Marcano. Mr. Giola?
Thank you. The Public Relations Committee met on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 8 p.m. Committee members present were Justin Toomey, Lisa Domingo, Christine Egbert, William McCabe, and myself. The first thing we discussed were the adoptions on the agenda for tonight, the 2026-2027 academic calendar. As Mr. Toomey mentioned in his report, staff will begin with professional development days on August 31st and September 1st, and students will begin on September 2nd prior to the Labor Day weekend. There will also be a 4-day weekend in February for President's Day weekend. School will be closed from March 26, 2027, which is Good Friday, through March 29th, 2027, Easter Monday. Then spring break will be in April from the 12th to the 16th, and the last day of school is scheduled for June 22nd, 2027. Also, we discussed the 2026-27 calendar for support staff paid holidays. There is a donation on the agenda tonight, except with appreciation, the donation of dictionaries to all third graders and their teachers, valued at approximately $575 from the Hanover Rotary. My son actually got one. It was cool to see a tangible dictionary again. He was so excited, and that was a really great donation. Other items that we discussed were the strategic planning update. Members of the planning committee have been meeting. The Pride and Passion with Whippany Park Marching Band and N.J.S.A took place. Fall conferences have happened in all of the schools. We discussed the upcoming holiday concerts in December. And also, as Mrs. Copen addressed in her report, the district will be partnering with the Mental Health Association at no cost to the district. And this concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Giola. Mr. Marcano for policy.
Policy Committee met on November 17th. Members present were myself, Mr. McCabe, Ms. Momengo, and Mr. Toomey. We discussed the second reading of the policies on tonight's agenda, and also policies 2530, resource materials, 2535, library materials, along with regulation 9130, public complaints. Discussion on those will continue at next month's policy meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now open the floor to public comment. You will have 5 minutes to address the board. Please state your name, municipality, and group affiliation if applicable. You'll have 30 seconds to begin closing your comments. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Paul Sesko from Whippany. Normally, I take a walk through behind Salem Drive School where my kids went, and there's a little path that goes through the forest, and, I get my little nature in there. So as I get ready to go into there, I noticed on the playground they have hopscotch painted on there, and also, checkers, or I'm sorry, what's that? Tic-tac-toe. Thank you. So when my son had eye teaming, eye tracking, eye focusing problem, he went to a chiropractic neurologist, which I never heard of before. And one thing he said is would be good to do hopscotch, because it exercises all different things for your executive function. So I just, Googled a couple things, and I just like to read them off because I think it'd be a really great thing. And I don't know who put that on there, is responsible, but that was a great idea. I don't know if anybody knows, or maybe Mr.
On what?
I think that's been on there for a while. I think they just repainted it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, might have been faded. Okay. There you go. I was wondering if maybe they were the ones too. So, hopscotch builds executive function skills, planning and sequencing. Children must follow the specific rules of the game, planning the moves to avoid mistakes. Focus and attention. The game requires concentration to toss the marker accurately and to navigate the squares without losing focus on the step. Self-control and inhibition. Players need to inhibit impulsive movements and stop themselves from moving on to the next square before it's their turn. So impulsiveness, that's a big thing.
Mr. Sesko, do you have something for agenda items only?
Oh, okay. All right. It's the next one.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you. Does anybody have anything on agenda items only? Okay. All right, then we're gonna move on to the board actions. Ms. Egbert?
Please, 19. Upon recommendation of the superintendent, move items 1 through 19 on the personnel consent agenda.
Can I get a second? Thank you, Ms. Stricchiola. Is there any board discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Egbert?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnston?
Yes.
Mr. Skiff?
Yes.
Mr. Matisich?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mrs. Stricchiola?
Yes.
Mr. Marsano?
Yes.
Mrs. Coffey?
Yes.
Mrs. Bomango?
Yes. Okay. Mrs. Johnston?
Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, approve the following curriculum, technology, and student achievement items, numbers 11/25/25/20 through 11/25/25/28.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Johnston, I'm sorry, Ms. Egbert. Is there any board discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Egbert?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnston?
Yes.
Mr. Skiff?
Yes.
Mr. Matisich?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mrs. Stricchiola?
Yes.
Mr. Marsano?
Yes.
Mrs. Coffey?
Yes.
Mrs. Bomango?
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Marsano for Finance, Transportation, and Physical Plant?
Upon recommendation of the business administrator, board secretary, we approve the following finance, transportation, physical plant items, number 29 through 37 on the regular agenda.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Stricchiola. Is there any board discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Egbert?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnston?
Yes.
Mr. Skiff?
Yes.
Mr. Matisich?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mrs. Stricchiola?
Yes.
Mr. Marsano?
Yes.
Mrs. Coffey?
Yes.
Mrs. Bomango?
Yes. Thank you. Mrs. Stricchiola.
Upon recommendation of the superintendent, move items 38 through 40 on the public relations agenda.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Marsano. Is there any board discussion?
Just want to say thank you again to the Hanover Township Rotary. This has been a long-standing tradition for the dictionaries being given out. I think I was told it's close to over 25 years at least of students. So you think about the third graders that got them 25 years ago are now in their 30s. And it is definitely really, really exciting to see kids look at old school dictionaries. And actually, and these dictionaries also include other curricular areas. They have the longest word in there. They have, other areas that the kids find really exciting. So it's it's cool. Mr. Wasserman and I were able to be there to see the kids get these gifts. And hopefully, if you're watching this at home and you have a third grader, at your dinner table, you're starting on page 1 and going all the way through and doing a different word every night.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the Hanover Rotary. We have a whole bunch from a long time ago, too. I have a lot of kids. Does anybody else have any board discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Egbert?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnston?
Yes.
Mr. Skiff?
Yes.
Mr. Matisich?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mrs. Stricchiola?
Yes.
Mr. Marsano?
Yes.
Mrs. Coffey?
Yes.
Mrs. Bomango?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Skiff for policy, please.
Upon recommendation of the superintendent and the policy committee, I move to adopt item 11/25/25-41 for approval.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Mrs. Johnston. Is there any board discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Egbert?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnston?
Yes.
Mr. Skiff?
Yes.
Mr. Matisich?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mrs. Stricchiola?
Yes.
Mr. Marsano?
Yes.
Mrs. Coffey?
Yes.
Mrs. Bomango?
Yes. Okay. At this time, we're going to reopen the floor for public comment on any item. Please state your name, municipality, group affiliation, if applicable. Thank you.
Hello,
Thank
Paul
you.
Sesko again
Thank
from
you.
Whippany. I probably should have spent less time with jump rope and football in school, and better more time with hopscotch. But anyway, I just want to go through a couple other things. Working memory and problem solving. Children need to remember the sequence of the numbers and rules and make adjustments to their strategies as needed. Coordination and balance, it's good for sports too. The physical act of hopping and balancing while following the sequence is a complex task that strengthens motor planning and coordination. And special awareness and directionality. The game helps develop a sense of direction and spatial reasoning as children navigate the squares. I just want to say that's a good thing. And the only other thing that the chiropractic neurologist said, when you do the hopscotch, do a blank one, and then you can change the numbers in there, and that will just every day you could keep changing it, and that's for enhanced learning and improvement. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Did you do the hopscotch at Salem Drive? Because we're going to have to look at the cameras if we can see that.
He was out there after dark.
Thank you very much. Does anybody else have any public comment? Okay. Well, thank you for coming tonight. Do we have any items for board discussion?
I do, just real quick. So since Thanksgiving is here, I think we should give some thanks to our great administration. You guys are really working so hard, and we really appreciate what you guys are doing. I know we put a lot on you. A lot of things have been, a lot of stones have been overturned lately, and we're working very hard, and you guys are putting so much effort in. We really appreciate that. We want to thank you on that. That's the first thing. On another note, and something that I think is going to help you all and all of us in this town is I want to thank Mayor Gallagher in particular for the announcement he made the other day regarding the agreements made with the hotels in town not to backfill additional homeless students. As I think will help us in the future with all your endeavors. You guys have been working so hard on that. So thank you. I want to thank Mayor Gallagher, and I want to thank everybody on the board. We've been working really hard to make things happen here. So I think it's going to be to everybody and your families. Thank you.
Mr. Matisich?
Yeah, if anyone's at B Meadow School after dark and they see a green laser flying around, it's not a drone or anything. It's a goose deterrent that we put into B Meadow Pond as part of the green team. We've had issues with the pond for many years with the geese. They leave waste in the pond and it pollutes the water, causing problems. The town tried solving this by putting reeds, which are classified as duck potato. I don't know why it's called that, but that's the type of reed that's planted all along the front of the pond to keep the geese out. But those reeds harbor mosquitoes, which carry West Nile virus. So a workaround to that was to keep the geese away using a green laser. It rotates every 15 minutes and does 2 laps at water level. It's a friendly way to keep them away. Second thing was I met with the mayor this morning and with the Future Business Leaders of America at the high school to undergo a program. We're going to do a small business spotlight where the students are going to help us to interview and promote all businesses within Hanover Township, specifically small, like family-run, like individual-owned businesses. And while that's not part of this district, I'm going to work with the teacher who's taking charge of that group and see if they can help integrate all the kids that are doing the TREPS group in our school so that when they graduate, they can mesh right into the FBLA and learn real skills and business skills. And, we'll see where it goes. It's still in its infancy. We haven't really started it yet. We're just at the idea phase, but that's all I have. Thanks.
Could you share
the
when
date and
Treps
time?
And date and time, the shameless plug for Treps Marketplace, for those of you that want to come and get your holiday shopping done?
Sure. Over 50 businesses, real kids, real products. When? December 11th, 2025. Time, 6 to 8 p.m. Where? Memorial Junior School, Viking Gym, 61 Highland Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On a related note to the goose laser, if you guys are missing your cats, you may want to go over to B Meadow and take a look there.
I also have something to add as to the goose issue. As someone who grew up with a border collie, I know they're typically used to deter goose populations from kind of making a particular area their home. So you may want to look into that as well. I know it's pretty effective. And they even use
The dog?
yeah, the dog, the breed of dog, because they're sheep dogs, and they use them to scare away the geese and get rid of them. And they'll actually,
Thank you for volunteering to.
after they do that, I don't have a border collie anymore.
The services they have, the guy
They
goes
do.
around with his
I was
dog
just
and
gonna
they-
say, my
they chase
school
them.
actually has that. The guy comes with the dog, and the dog runs along the fields,
Yeah.
and so that the geese don't go on it and scare
Something to look
them away.
into. And I know they'll actually, they have like cutout, like Kelly Kapowski cutouts of border collies that they put up after the dog's long gone, that the geese think are real and it'll deter them from landing. So it's just something to look into.
We have backup plans then, thank you.
Are they getting rid of the mosquito nesting areas now, or when are they chopping
Well,
that down?
we have to first make sure that the laser system works, and then if it works, then engineering has sort of okayed the idea of possibly removing the reeds. And I say all of those, clarifiers because there's a lot involved when you touch anything around the water with NJDEP and all that. So it's possible that we could take some of the ones out that are actually in the water, because that's where the mosquitoes live. They go under the water level, and then they breathe through the tube of the plant somehow, like a snorkel.
Stan, I think you're gonna have to go to the green team meeting for that.
Yeah, it's kind of off topic, but.
A little off topic here.
Well, I mean, Boone Meadow School is right by that pond, and the mosquitoes
Yeah.
are biting our kids during recess. I think it's very much related. It's been,
Okay. Is there any other board discussion? Okay. I hope everybody has a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you very much to our administration, our school district, all of our teachers and staff and everyone. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Mr. Morisano, can I get a
Second.
second? Mr. Skiff? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Nope. Okay, meeting adjourned.